Capito here from Baseline Health, just hiking up Cypress Mountain to get a great spot to show you guys some exercises. Hi, Dr. Capito here, working on some core exercises now to help integrate lower body and upper body stability. So obviously our lower body and upper body are connected through the core. So when we're doing our jumps and we want to have ideal landings, we need to make sure core stability is completely intact and working optimally. Now I'd like to talk about the brace now. So bracing is really important to integrate into every exercise that you do, and this exercise will also train you neurologically to support the actions that you're going to have to compensate for when you're in the air on any sort of jump. So the idea is that if you get punched in the stomach and at the back at the same time, you're going to tighten. So again, trickier with all this clothing on, but the idea is that you're not doing one of these where you're holding your breath. You're going to try to maintain neutral spine, so you're not going to flex forward when you do it. You're just going to stay neutral. And tighten the abs and the low back together. So when I work with patients, I tell them to put 2 fingers on their stomach, so one on each side of their rectus abdominis, and same with their lumbar spine. And then you want to feel the contraction underneath your fingers. So the idea is not to hold your breath when you do it, as I said. You should be able to breathe independently of holding a brace, which will increase the stability across the entire lower back or the core of the body, and keep the diaphragm functioning optimally throughout the exercise. So we shouldn't have to hold our breath to be able to engage the brace. So whether you're doing a squat or a core exercise, the brace should definitely initiate that movement. Now we're just going to talk about the cat-camel, as it's called in yoga. Some call it cat-cow. This exercise is great to improve the viscosity within the joints of the lumbar spine, which is a good thing to do before you go and do a lot of core exercises. So this is more a gentle mobility exercise for the lumbar spine that can be done prior to core exercises. So all you're going to do is arch in the lower back and then round. So it's extension and flexion, and when you're doing it, you're not taking it to the end, absolute end range. You're just working the mobility, so it's just gentle back and forth. It's a supported exercise to allow your lower back to go into flexion, which we tend to avoid because of the risk of disc injury. So as long as we're protected on all fours, this is a really gentle exercise that can help improve the joint mobility in your lumbar spine, allowing some flexion, but in a safe position. So a great exercise to work on deep segmental stabilizers that will help with rotations are targeting the multifidi muscles, and the exercise is called the bird dog. So on all fours, the goal of the exercise will be to take the opposing sides of the body out into extension and keeping the pelvis level. So you don't want to be tilting down one way or hiking up the other way. You want to remain very level through the lower back. Keep both butt cheeks at the same height. Another way to think about this is also pulling your shoulder blade a bit back and down so that you're anchoring your scapular stabilizers, which we can talk about in another segment. But the importance of just remembering that our whole body is connected and not to get sloppy through the upper body or sloppy through the lower body. So it's a whole exercise for the body top to bottom. We can do these alternating, so left out and then back in and then right out. If these are very easy for you, there's definitely modifications that you can do to make it more challenging. One easy one is to come off of midline. So now all of a sudden you have to work a lot harder through the lumbar spine to be able to support this position. Then you can do stuff where you're starting to do rotations, circles, squares, whatever sort of shape you want to work on, again while maintaining that lumbar, that safe lumbar curve, and again the height of your glute cheeks. So that's a great exercise, the bird dog, to help with rotation control in the air. Another great exercise to do is the side plank. So this is going to work quadratus lumborum. So again, if we're tilting too much in the air, it will help engage the correct muscles to be able to stay upright. So this one's easy. You're going to take side position on the floor. You can stack your feet. If that's not comfortable for you, you can do one foot in front of the other. What you're going to do is make sure the body stays in a dead straight plank. That's why it's called a plank. It's not called an L, it's called a plank. So ankles, knees, hips, shoulders all in line. Make sure the elbow is directly under the shoulder. You don't want to be putting unnecessary forces through the shoulder. If you're somebody who has shoulder problems and cannot put yourself into this position, modification could be coming down onto your side instead and now lifting the top from the top. So now you're working the upper quadratus lumborum rather than the lower, and both legs will come off the ground. If both of these are too challenging, you can also try from your knees. So this is a great start for some people. So knees, hips, shoulders again in line, no bending, no twisting. Now we're going to work on abdominal muscles. So rectus abdominis is the muscle we're targeting here. And we're going to focus on doing a safe crunch. So what we will do is straighten one leg, and you'll end up really focusing on not pushing your back into the ground or lifting your back off the ground. So it's a bit hard with my jacket to see all of these details, but the idea is that if your hand is under the small of your back, you shouldn't feel the change of pressure on your hand. So you shouldn't feel your back compressing your hand, and you shouldn't feel your back arching off of your hand. You just want to remain neutral spine. That's what's going to help keep your back safe in this exercise and optimally train this muscle. So all you're going to do is one leg is going to straighten to be able to decrease some of the compressive load on the spine, and you're going to keep in a bit of a chin tuck so you don't want to be poking your chin to the sky, and just gently come on up, shoulder blades up, that's all you need, and then down, and then up, and then down. So that's going to be a great one to work on rectus abdominis and maintaining a bit of a brace through that, which we've already talked about as well. So the last core exercise that we're going to talk about here is the dying bug. I don't name them. The idea is that you're going to be on your back. Again, the same principles with pushing the back to the ground and arching off. You don't want either. Maintain that neutral spine. You're going to have hands on your knees to start, and the left leg will go out and the right arm will go out. And then back, and then out again. So the stronger you get, the farther your ankle can come to the ground, your foot can come to the ground. Also, if this becomes easy, you can start shifting so that your leg and your arm come off midline, and that's going to be more challenging. You'll start to recruit obliques a little bit more, and definitely all sorts of your rotation control will have to jump in to help support this exercise. So those are a few core exercises that will be great for you for preventing problems with landing, connecting your upper body and your lower body.